Everyone, including me, talks about wealth with God. But today I'm going to take it a step further and talk about what it fully means or what it really means when you don't have the full picture. When the vision feels clear, but the money is not. Or the promise feels real, but progress is slow. Hello and welcome to Ademisola. I am Ademisola, the Wealthy Rambler. If this is your first time here, this is a video journal where I document the journey to building wealth, to creating wealth God's way. And it's not just physically, money in the bank, but we're talking about it spiritually, mentally, and emotionally as well. Now, we all know that building wealth does not start with abundance straight away. It starts with the transformation, and we hear it when we listen to sermons, we go to church. It first of all starts not just in church, I might say, because I know about a lot of these things because I almost delved into it. Even in that manifesting world, I don't know what to call it, the world where we, like the laws of the universe, where we talk the universe a lot rather than God. They also believe that you are first of all wealthy in your mind before you are wealthy physically. You don't get the full blueprint, and that's the way God works anyway. You just get the next instruction. If you are waiting until you have the full picture of exactly how it's going to work, you are going to be waiting forever. You just get the next instruction, and when you take steps or when you obey and you take action, then it starts getting clearer and it starts making sense as to, oh, this is why I'm doing this. I'll give you an example. I literally got this instruction about the Wealthy Rambler, and initially I thought it was going to be a podcast, and it was not clear. And I got it at some point last year, so maybe like 6+ months ago, let's be realistic. And it wasn't clear. I just documented a lot of things, brainstormed, researched, even down to after I had recorded the first video. I thought it was going to be, it was after I recorded the first video that things became clearer. Because I'm like, okay, documenting my journey. Am I coming on here to tell you, okay, our service our accommodation business made this amount of money this month. We, closed this month with like 28K, or we did this. I knew that I was not going to do that because I personally, I wouldn't do that. And it's not to say that if people are doing it, because I watch people do it, it's not to say that it's wrong. It's just my own instruction. That's not something I'll be doing. The way with which I'll be documenting the journey did not even get clear the first day I heard it. It was with me, doing the thing, researching, and then even recording, because I got all of this information before I uploaded the first video. Even recording the first video before things got clearer. So yes, I'm trying to say it makes a lot of sense. It's normal for you to not get the full picture. It's normal. That's just how we work, isn't it? And that's how God works. In a nutshell, I'm trying to say clarity comes by doing and obeying. And so I'm going to talk about 6 points today. 6? I'm going to talk about some points. I don't know where I came up with the number 6, but I'm going to talk about some points. And point number 1 is that your obedience is your act of faith. When you are given an instruction, like for your business or for the next step in whatever you're doing, it doesn't make any sense. Like even when I was told to start the Wealthy Rambler, I was like, how am I going to do it? How am I going to put this in my schedule? Like, I work, I've got 2 boys, we've started this business. Like, am I not doing too much here? But I realized that if God has said it, then we do it. Because at some point in my life, I told God, I said, I surrender. I have come to the end of myself. Like, I'm not doing this in my way anymore. So if you're the one telling me to do this, and that desire keeps burning even after some time, that is my act of faith. It's got faith and absolute trust in God that whatever He's doing is for good, for my good, for the good of the people around me. So that is a true testament of your act of faith, obedience. If you get an instruction from God to do something along the journey of building and creating wealth for yourself, your family, and impact the people around you, you have to be obedient. You have to also, I don't know if I put this in this point, but you also have to heighten your spiritual intelligence to know, to be able to decipher when you're hearing from God or it's just your flesh talking. It's a work in progress. You're never done with that journey. You should always work towards becoming a better believer or walk towards deepening your relationship with God, because it's not religion we're talking here. We're talking a one-on-one intimate relationship with God. Stop waiting for the full picture. Okay, so point number 2, it is quiet. This phase is very quiet. There is no applause. There is most likely no virality. So there's no video going viral. There is no pat on the back. There is no encouragement. If you're an entrepreneur, there is no encouragement to say, oh, 10 people paid for this, or I make sales every day. No, especially when you are at that foundation phase where you're building and you're doing it quietly. You know that process. It is very quiet. But do not mistake the place or your environment or your business or circumstances around you being quiet for you being far away from God. No, He's right there, which is why the point about spiritual intelligence is really important, because if you're not heightened, if your spiritual senses are not heightened, you would want to think that God is far away from you in this phase. No, He's right there beside you. And when I say beside you, and I'm smiling because I know this is me as well, He is right there. As long as you have taken that step of faith and you're obedient and you're taking action, you just have to keep going. Stop looking for the validation from men or encouragement from men. If that comes, good and fine, all well and good. But if it does not come, maybe because of the kind of people around you, you have to know that there is something much more than the validation of men. And that is you being in obedience with God, walking step by step and building an intimate relationship with God. Secondly, you layer the foundation diligently, because for every success story, there was a building phase, a foundation and a building phase. And so if you don't commit to that building phase, you cannot see the result. And if you don't show up consistently, you cannot commit. And so it all is rooted to that spiritual intimacy with God. And so don't allow the quiet moments get to you. I think I've said too much on this. But part 3 is money discipleship. Ooh, okay. So I laugh because this is where it starts getting difficult. Well, I mean, let's not use the word difficult, but you get it. Like, you need to heal that scarcity mindset. You unlearn hustle to complete reliance on Him. I wish I could tell you a lot of stories, but when they become testimonies, I'll tell you. It's coming. So yeah, just get this, that you see that hustle culture is not God. Like, complete rest in Him. That's where you now start working on your money discipline. Like, you know, what do you need to do to stop this moving from point A to point B? Because there is this thing you have to pay for. There's this big bill you have to pay for. And so you work yourself out that you don't even have time for God. So I think I'm going to end money discipline here, because there's a lot that I want to start talking about. There's a lot of stories that I want to tell you, but you get it. And if you don't get it, let me know. We can talk more about it in the comment section. So the 4th point, when you're building wealth with God and what it actually looks like, is that you begin to make actions that don't make any sense. Like, why are you resting when people are hustling? You know, you find that you're doing the complete opposite of what status quo is, the complete opposite of what culture demands that you should be doing. Then as long as you know that you have heard from the Lord, find rest. Honestly, find rest and just keep going. A lot of people, when you hear a lot of people who are successful give testimonies, they tell you that when they got an instruction to do something, it did not make any sense, right? Just find rest. It's when you find that you're going forward, when people are beginning to take a break, the one thing you just need to know is that you're in obedience to what God has told you. You're obeying instructions, and then you just keep going. Because at the end, it would make a lot of sense. That's what happened with Noah anyway when he was building the ark. Why are you building an ark? Like, what is it for? It was just recently I was watching one of my kids' Bible stories, and I realized that he didn't actually do anything. It sounded a bit more bizarre when we're talking about Noah, the story of Noah and the ark in the Bible, because he built that boat, that big boat on land. And so every day, he probably maybe built it in like their city center or something. So a lot of people were like, what is this madman doing? And he didn't have to move that boat anywhere. So when they finished building it, they just put, okay, the human beings, the animals, everybody go in here. And then they locked it. So I'm sure as they were locking it, people would be like, what is all this? Like, what kind of madness is this? Like, it didn't make sense until maybe, I don't know, I can't remember the story now, whether it was a few hours or a day after the boat was shut and then the rain started falling. And then we're like, oh. So that's okay if you're doing things that seems left to what the status quo is. You just make sure you're in obedience to God. It builds your character. It builds your capacity when you're doing things like, okay, I've been thinking of an example, but let me give you an example. Like, why am I coming on here to talk to you about my wealth journey? Have you seen the people that talk about wealth? Like, they have accolades. They are, older people. Well, do you get, why am I talking to you about it? I don't know. But this is in obedience, right? I don't know why I'm coming on here to be telling you about, the wealth mindset. This is, it's for a purpose, it's for this, it's for that. But I took a step in faith and I'm obeying that call. And so what it's doing to me, I'll give you an example. Before I got the word to say, start Wealthy Rambler, I was talking about money. So my name is Ademisola anyway. Maybe I'd reintroduce myself. My name is Ademisola and it means the crown breeds into wealth. And so there's always been that whole wealth thing. I constantly think about money, constantly think about, wealth and all of that. That's just me, right? One day I realized that it's just ingrained in me. It's part of my assignment. So I was talking about money. There's another project that I was going to start. But yeah, okay, I won't talk about that. But I intended to start a YouTube channel where I talk about money. And I recorded that video. The first video where I was talking about 10 money habits that is keeping you broke or something. Because, yeah, that's what I brainstormed with ChatGPT and that's what people are saying. I sat down for 40 minutes and I recorded that video. I tell you, I have not even posted that video because as I was talking about the money habits, it just felt like I was talking to myself. Look in the mirror. Is this not you? Why are you telling people 10 money habits that is keeping you broke? This was like maybe at some point, a couple of months ago. That was my it had been there, but I didn't know how to reframe it. And that was me stepping out of my own faith. And then it just made me uncomfortable, and so I stopped. But when the Wealthy Rambler, came about, it kind of made sense now. So why am I telling you this story anyway? Do things. You step out in faith and do things that make no sense. As long as the Lord has spoken to you, you go. There is always light at the end of that tunnel. He knows, he wants you to succeed more than you want to succeed. That's how much God loves us. And the point I was just trying to make here is that it builds your capacity. It works on you. It's part of the becoming, and then it makes you whole. And it then leads into the final point. Yes, it's 5 points, not 6. Which then works on your becoming. It's your character that changes, your capacity changes, your discernment changes, and your patience changes. The person you become it's part of it. You then realize that who you have become is even more valuable than the amount of money you have made. This is what building wealth with God feels like. These are the 5 points that came to my head and I was like, yeah. Who you become on this journey, oh my goodness. By the time you look at that point, when you get there and you just look at this point, you realize that it was a good thing that God took you on that journey. Your patience has enlarged. Like, you can take anything. Your capacity has enlarged. And with that capacity comes the opportunities. you're spiritually heightened, your spiritual life, because at the end of it all, your spiritual intimacy is the biggest of all. Not even the money and all that. Then your discernment, because you practice that muscle, you use that muscle, you can now tell when this is God or this is me, this is flesh speaking. I am so jealous of who you're going to become. Already, I am jealous. So you just keep at it. I think that's the essence of this. When you're building wealth with God, it doesn't feel right most of the time, especially at the beginning. Not that it doesn't feel right. You have that conviction with you, but physically and outwardly, you might not see anything. You might not get the results that you're looking for immediately. Sometimes you try and then it's taking too long. But just find that rest as long as you are in God. As I wrap up, if you're building with God, it feels slow, it feels unclear, it feels hidden, you're not behind. No, absolutely you're not. So I hope this video has encouraged you in that sense. I am not here to tell you that by the end of next month, it's going to end. That's marketing. I'm just telling you, you're not behind. And one day, you just have to keep going. The only thing that is going to encourage you is to go back to that place of worship, go back to the word, go back to prayer. You're just in the process. You're in that building and laying the foundation phase, and just do it diligently. If this resonates, you're not alone. I'm absolutely in that phase too. And all I'm telling you is lean in, stay there. God is working on you and he's not done with you just yet. I'm not encouraging you. I am just telling you facts on facts, right? So stay there and just lean in and surrender and say, okay, God, you've got me. Just keep doing what you're doing. I am documenting the journey in real time, what it actually looks like, faith, the clarity, the down times, the process, the slow times, the fast times, the upliftments, the testimonies. I am documenting all of it in real time. And if you're working on this same part too, we're there. Hi. You can also like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Just say, I'm trusting the process, because you have to trust this process. If you don't trust and believe in this process, it's all for nothing. So leave a comment in the comment section saying, I'm trusting this process. And let's vibe together, because this season may not look like it's a lot, but I tell you, it's leading to somewhere big, and you want to see where it's leading to. So trust that process, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.